Romain Sarrazin beat 56 of the top gamers from around Europe to win GT Academy 2015. He is now in the intensive GT Academy driver development program, with the aim of gaining an international racing licence.
The DDP licence target is, as always, International C. Once they get this international licence, they can race anywhere, really.
So to get an International C race licence, you need 12 signatures gained by finishing races.
Without a finish, they don't get the signature, so whether that's a mechanical failure or an incident. The other reason is if the clerk of the course deems their driving standard to have been substandard.
It's the same licence which previous GT Academies had to get to be eligible to race abroad. Once you move up the ranks, you need different types of licences. What I've currently got now is an International A, which allows me to race in the World Endurance Championship as well as GP2.
The actual race licence is very similar to your driving licence. It's a small card that you take to each and every race, and when you sign on for the event you have to show that card. It's really as proof of sufficient standard to compete in an international competition.
It's one of those items which, like your helmet, your hands device, your race kit, you have to take with you.
Over the next 6 weeks, Romain must now complete races in order to gain his licence before the season comes to a close.
This is going to be the quickest turnaround on an international licence. I think we've got 5 to 6 weeks to do it. It's going to be very tough for him. There's no margin for error. Romain has to successfully complete every race that he starts.
We're giving them a pretty fast car and a circuit and telling them really not to drive it particularly fast, because if they have any form of incident whatsoever and don't manage to get the signatures, that's actually it.
One slip and you'll miss it. Every single race we've got planned from now will be required to get an international licence.
Romain not only has to gain his licence, but needs to prove to the team he has the ability to go on and race in the Blancpain Endurance Series, the ultimate goal for GT Academy winners.
The Blancpain Championship is the most competitive and sought after GT championship in the world.
It is the most competitive GT series. All the manufacturers are in it at the highest level.
BMW, Mercedes, Ferrari, upwards of 60 cars starting the races.
It's a big step up. The pressure for these new guys coming through, you're expected to perform, you're expected to be at the front. It's the perfect place to jump in the car and show the world what they can do.
The series takes the drivers to some of the most famous tracks around Europe, including Silverstone, Monza, Nürburgring, Paul Ricard and the Spa 24-hour race.
The icing on the cake for the Blancpain Endurance Series is the Spa 24 hours. It's hard on the cars, it's hard on the drivers, so it's a massive challenge. To do Spa 24 hours in your first year of racing for these new guys, it's cool, it's really cool to do.
Before Romain can set his sights on the world-famous Spa 24, he must first gain more signatures for his international licence. Romain and the International GT Academy winner Matt Simmons have arrived at Snetterton Racetrack in Norfolk. The graduates can only collect a maximum of 2 signatures per race meeting, and with 3 races scheduled, it will give the team a margin for error. But heavy fog is stopping any track activity at all.
For now the weather is not good, there is a big fog. The marshal cannot see all the tracks, so we cannot drive for now. We are waiting for an improvement.
I think by the time they run, it won't be a problem. What is a problem is that there is so many cars on this short circuit, nearly 50 cars, and this is one of the fastest cars in the race.
The graduates will be driving the fastest car they will race during the DDP, the 370Z GT4. For both drivers, it will be their first race in this vehicle.
Bit of a step up now, a little bit more power, a little bit more grip with the downforce.
So a proper race car, really nice to drive.
Being in a quick car on a grid with many cars and a lot being slower is very, very difficult, because the closure speeds that they find coming up to lap the slower cars is very difficult. So it's all about managing the gap, managing the distance and judgment. So it's fantastic for us, for them to have this much experience with slower cars, but ultimately it's very, very difficult and easy to get tripped up.
The aim for Romain is to get more experience in this GT4 370Z and to complete his 2 races to get the necessary signatures that we often talk about.
They've got a huge task ahead really, which is managing traffic, staying out of trouble. You know, the more cars on the grid, the harder that is. They've got 3 15-minute races in which to do as best they can and get those signatures.
After a 3-hour delay, the cars finally get on track for qualifying. The graduates get to grips quickly with the GT4 car, and are able to record the fastest laps to gain first and second place on the grid.
Did you get a free lap there where you had no cars? Or?
Yeah, one lap.
At the start I tried to pass everyone. I don't know how.
1 second behind you.
Awesome. Perfect. 1-2.
Starting at the front of the grid will mean the drivers should stay out of trouble on the opening lap. But the coaches are not taking any risks with the novice drivers.
Our rule here is whoever gets to the first corner first takes that corner, and the person in second just settles for it, take no risk, get through. And once I'm sure they're around the first half of the first lap, they'll be clear of third and fourth. Watch your mirrors, keep, if there's any risk, anyone looks stupid, let them go. The guys are on pole position, so hopefully it's going to be a lights to flag victory. If you do have a bad start, you lose 2 or 3 places, whatever, it's absolutely fine, okay? Just don't panic, stay calm, work your way into a rhythm, and then you just pick them back off. If we can get a win under our belt as well, great. But don't worry about it, because the win is just the bonus. The real result is the signature.
The drivers make a clean start and avoid each other on the first corner. But they are unable to break away from the packed field due to an early safety car. This is their first experience of following a safety car, and Romain deals with the situation well, backing away from Matt just before the restart to avoid any possible contact between the teammates. The novice drivers soon catch up with the traffic, lapping the slower cars, before crossing the finish line in first and second position.
Yeah, it was absolutely textbook really. Lights to flag victory. They were both very, very careful to defend the inside on the first corner. There was an incident on the first lap. They had to control that safety car and the speeds and then get their heads back into racing, which they did, and went on for a very, very textbook race win.
He got the first one, which was excellent, and in so doing they finished first and second overall in the race. So far, perfect.
First podium. So yeah, I'm really happy. The aim was the signatures. It's done. The second race to come. I hope we'll do the same thing.
Romain has his first silverware from the DDP. However, the race organisers have delivered the team some news that could impact his progress.
Unfortunately, we have had just a little bit of bad news because of the delays that we've had and the fact that we haven't really got underway until lunchtime. There's now not going to be enough time to run the third race, which means they've only got one chance now this afternoon to get another signature.
Suddenly we definitely need to finish the second one. Romain, yeah, he's very aware that we've got no margin for error.
Their brief is exactly the same as race one. Signature's the most important thing, but get through the first couple of corners without any kind of incident.
The cars pull away at the start of the second race, but Romain is slow off the line. Third position Subaru makes a move up the outside of his car into the first corner.
Red Subaru tried to hold the outside, and Romain got the inside line getting in turn one, and the red Subaru went off at the first corner, spun far into the field.
Romain does not let this potential disastrous incident affect him, and is soon setting the fastest laps of his weekend.
First and second at the moment, all good, quite close together, but a good lead over third place.
The fast GT4 cars have to deal with a constant stream of traffic from the slower paced cars, and the rookie drivers have to use everything they have learnt at race camp and in the DDP so far to safely overtake the cars they are lapping as they battle their way to a second podium of the day.
First and second in each race, exemplary driving, it's perfect.
2 signatures, 2 podium. I accomplished my mission, so really nice weekend. The team and the car were perfect, so I'm really happy.
I really am pleased. 42 cars, they were the fastest car in the race. I had to get by them all, lapping them, and they showed great care and yet still pushed on hard to win, and very good. Really pleased with them both.
He drove with absolute maturity, did everything that was asked of him, and more really, because he helped his teammate. Romain improved his lap times every single outing, went slightly faster, but kept absolutely safe. I can't ask for the boys to do a better job.
That really tight time scale we've been on ever since Abu Dhabi race camp, we're on schedule still.
The successful day leaves Romain a step closer to gaining his international licence and realising his dream of racing in the Blancpain Endurance series. Join us next week, where we will see how the graduates training off track will help them develop as a racing driver.